I'm back now, folks, to give you guys, of course, some awesome reviews. So, as always, as you know, Mondays are mostly the most boring days starting the week. However, I intend to keep your Mondays fun and exciting. But as you all know, I'm officially done with this past week with Comic Con. Now it's time to get back into business. Now, this entire episode is all about New Japan Pro Wrestling with the G1 Climax 35. If you guys haven't remembered, this is the annual round robin tournament. Now, we have already reviewed day 1 and day 2. However, recently with day 3 all the way to day 7, the blocks have been divided. One day will feature, of course, Block A. The other will feature, of course, Block B. So we're going to be doing that. So I'm not going to focus on the preview matches, which happens prior before that. So I thought let's just focus on the main matches involving the blockists. So we're going to begin with day 3 and then push our way to day 4. And then, of course, as always, we cap up our episode, as usual, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the yapping. It's time to boogie. So let's begin. Of course, as I mentioned before, it's all about New Japan, and we're going to continue with the G1 Climax with day 3 all the way to day 7. So buckle up. Let's begin with day 3. We are now continuing with more of the G1 Climax. As you all know, we already reviewed day 1 and day 2 in the opening rounds of the tournament. Now, we did have the mixture of both the A block and the B block on the first 2 days. However, from this moment forward, we will see, of course, the block gets divided. One block will feature Block A, and the other day will feature Block B. And we'll go from there. So we will only focus on the tournament matches, not the preview matches, so as you probably can guess. So we're going to begin, of course, with day 3 that took place on the 22nd of July, and we're going to focus on the A block. Now, our first match, we have Cal Newman versus Rohei Oiwa. Now, of course, these two guys have already received their first 2 points. They lost, of course, either they won or lost in the first 2 opening round, so you probably can guess. However, many people might have suspect Cal Newman would have picked up the win. However, that wasn't the case. It was Rohei Oiwa who picked up the win when he applied the grit, which is the discus lariat, which he named it now, to finish off, of course, Newman, giving himself his next 2 points with the total of 4. So I would say he would get, of course, with the total of 2 wins and 1 loss. As for Newman, well, from here it's basically 1 win and 2 losses. So that's how it rolls up. So far, no time limit draws yet. Our next match, we have Boltin Oleg versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, which is interesting. As you all know, Tanahashi and Boltin Oleg, along with Toru Yano, they were in fact the never openweight 6-man tag team champions. And now Boltin Oleg is facing the ace and the president of New Japan. So the real question is, can he survive the ace? Now we know that Tanahashi's body's been deteriorating for quite some time, but Boltin Oleg was able to pick up the victory when he applied the kamikaze onto him, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Boltin Oleg received his next 2 points with a total of 4, featuring of course with 2 wins and 1 loss. As for Tanahashi, he is currently right now with, of course, 1 win and 2 losses. So we'll see how things will progress from these guys. Our next match, well, this one's a very, very interesting one. Sanada versus Evil. So you can call it the House of Losers Showdown. So basically, as you know, they're members of the House of Torture. Now, this is the thing that's interesting. We know that Sanada and Evil have been tag team partners during their time from LIJ. And ever since, of course, Evil defected to join the Bullet Club. And that's when we do know things could be a little interesting. However, Evil, of course, the biggest scumbag of the earth, as you know, he in fact had Fale and Dick Togo by his side. But the one thing that was interesting in this match, many of you know that Sanada has a particular move called the Paradise Lock, and he learned it from Milano Collection TA, who is in fact a former pro wrestler, now turned commentary in New Japan. And for whatever reason, Sanada, being also a bigger scumbag, decided to slam Evil into him. I don't know what the hell is, of course, Sanada's problem. I mean, Milano has nothing to do with him anymore. He hates him. He doesn't want nothing to do. But for Sanada, he decided just to, I don't give a damn about anything. Of course, we all knew that Fale and everybody else in the House of Torture were going to help Evil, but it did not do any well. We did, of course, see Kanemaru try to pull the referee Marty Asami, but it did not work in their favor because Marty Asami just had enough. But luckily, Sanada was able to pick up a pinfall on Evil, and just like that, Sanada just picked up his first 2 points, with 2 losses and 1 win. And as for Evil, well, I have to say, thank God he doesn't have to be undefeated, because I really hate this scumbag. So he has 1 loss. So thank you, Sanada. Even though I don't like you anymore, thank you. So that means Evil has only 2 wins with the total points of 4. Now our next match is a very interesting one. We go back all the way. As you all know, David Finlay, as you know, defeated Taichi when he defended for the IWGP Global Championship back of course in Osaka. However, Taichi gets a bit of a measure of revenge on this one. Now David Finlay, I have to say, he hasn't been himself. He's not at the top of his level, in my opinion, because ever since he was losing, he lost to Evil. It's more like he lost his edge. I mean, he said he's a killer, a savage. I don't see that killer savage anywhere anymore. I see Taichi, who has to frequently grow up. He's finally, as you know, looking at himself now that he can do more great things joining Huntai, and that's exactly what he did. And he defeated David Finlay, of course, with the Black Manifesto, and then just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, Taichi got the total points of 4 with 2 wins and 1 loss. As for David Finlay, well, he has 1 win and 2 losses. So we'll see where these guys will head out. Our next match, this one's a very interesting guy. These guys were in the same class together in the dojo. As you know, we have Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura. Now, as you all know, Yota Tsuji went to the UK and went on excursion, while Yuya Uemura, in fact, went to LA Dojo. And of course, we've been seeing him mostly appearing at Impact Wrestling until it was reinvented itself back into TNA. So you can't even guess that these guys were part of the same class. But the real question, who was going to walk out? I mean, both wrestlers are great. But however, it was Yota Tsuji who picked up the win when he applied the Gene Blaster. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Yota Tsuji gets his next 2 points with the total points of 4, giving him, of course, with 2 wins and 1 loss. And of course, as for Uemura, he only has, of course, 2 points with 1 win and 2 losses. So we'll see where this goes from here between them. Now, as right now we are officially done with day 3, we're going to focus now with day 4, featuring the B block of the G1 Climax. We continue with day 4 of the G1 Climax 35 by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, before I proceed, I want to make a note here. If you guys saw the recent news updates that I put in, or following it in social media, wherever you see, you may have remembered Gabe Kidd, who was part of this block, had to withdraw. Now, let's go back to day 1, for example, right now. Day 1, apparently Gabe Kidd injured himself in the hands of Konosuke Takeshita, and this forced him to forfeit his match against Zack Sabre and Jr. in day 2. However, things did not go according to plan. So basically, right now, Gabe Kidd had no choice but to withdraw himself from the G1 Climax, unable to compete. However, every match that Gabe Kidd was supposed to have, everybody who will be facing him will be, in fact, of course, getting their 2 points, because as it's moving forward, Gabe Kidd has forfeited. So in total, we only have 4 matches involving Block B. So I think we'll be fine for now, and might be a little bit shorter than what we did for the previous review. Now, let's jump into the first match. We have Drilla Maloney versus Yoshihashi. Now, we have seen Drilla Maloney impressive. As you know, he made the jump now from junior heavyweight to heavyweight. Now, it's not uncommon, because we've seen those type of wrestlers before. We saw that with Will Ospreay, we saw that with Shingo Takagi, and now it's Drilla Maloney. But the real question is how we proceed on this one. I have to say, we've seen Drilla Maloney has evolved so much and brought in a bit of the more powerhouse type. However, Yoshihashi, as you know, I have seen this guy grown. He was the weakest link within the group of Chaos, and now in Hantai, he's basically now tried to fulfill, of course, a promise he made to his tag partner, Hiroki Goto, who is out on injury. And of course, for some reason, Yoshihashi was able to survive his 2 first matches. And now the real question is, can he survive a man who has been bringing the hurt on him? Well, he was able to counter it and pick up his next 2 points, leaving him with 6 after a pinfall. 1, 2, 3, and it was done. So at this moment forward, Yoshihashi, of course, was undefeated, leaving him with 3 wins and no losses. As for Maloney, this will be his first loss. So this means he has 4 points with a total wins of 2 and 1 loss. But remember, things could change when it comes to undefeated wrestlers. So pay attention to that. Now, our next match, we have Red Narita versus El Phantasmo. Now, of course, there is a bit of an implication. If Red Narita is successful, he can cash in an opportunity against El Phantasmo for the New Japan World Television title, a title we know he has fought before. But, of course, he had to focus on this one. However, Narita continued to play his dirty antics in the ring, and as always. And, of course, that Ifrit jerk, of course, the turncoat of just 5 guys, Kanemaru, showed up. And then, of course, we see a low blow find Ren Narita, then the double cross, and then he applies the Hell's Guillotine, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Ren Narita gets his next 2 points with a total of course, 2 wins and 1 loss. As for El Phantasmo, he has, of course, only 1 win and 2 losses. So that's really suck right there. So we'll see where it moves. Our next match, we have the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita versus the Great Okan. Of course, Great Okan, we know that he's determined to try to win the entire tournament, but Takeshita, as you know, has been on a mission to reach for the top, and that's exactly what he's been doing. He's been bringing the hurt onto Khan. Khan has been trying to do the same thing. However, it was ineffective until, of course, Konosuke Takeshita applied the Raging Fire, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Takeshita picked up his next 2 points with a total of 4 points with 2 wins and 1 loss. However, the Great Okan, he is sternly at the bottom with just 2 points with just 1 win and 2 losses. So we'll see what happens from there. Now, we go back, of course, our main event. This one is a feature of the main event, rematch of the main event of Wrestle Kingdom from this earlier this year. Shota Umino faces, of course, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr. Now, remember, keep in mind, boys and girls, this match is not for the title. Now, if successful, Shota Umino can challenge for the title if he wanted to, if he's unsuccessful winning the G1, which, of course, we have seen obvious times. But I have to say, he brought in the hurt onto Zack Sabre Jr. and Zack Sabre Jr. brought a bit of the technical aspects in order to slow him down. But unfortunately, Shota Umino, of course, came up on top when he applied the second chapter, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. He defeated finally Zack Sabre Jr. Payback for Wrestle Kingdom with the total points of 4 with just 2 wins and 1 loss. As for Zack Sabre Jr., he only has 1 win and 2 losses. So just like that, Shota Umino got his revenge from that loss. But now, as you know, we are done with day 4. Let's move on, of course, with day 5, focusing on the A block of the G1 Climax. As we continue with more with New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax, we are now in day 5. Now we're going to focus only, of course, on the A block in case anybody asks. Now our first match, we have Boltin Oleg versus Sanada. Now, as you all know, Sanada has been known to cheat his way through in any means necessary, such as, of course, low blowing, try to use the guitar, that sort of thing. But Boltin Oleg, as you know, he's a rising star within New Japan, and not to mention the current never openweight champion. But he was able to prevail by applying the kamikaze, defeating, of course, Sanada, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So currently, of course, Boltin Oleg has the total points of 6, meaning he has 3 wins and I believe maybe 2 losses, if I got it right. And as for Nada, well, he only has 1 win with just a total points of 2. Now, our next match, we have Cal Newman versus Yuya Uemura, which is interesting. As you know, both these men are rising stars. Not to mention, they are trying to determine who will be the top star in, of course, New Japan. Yuya Uemura, we have seen him. He has challenged Tanahashi. We have seen him as challenged for championships. Same thing with Cal Newman. But the real question is who will walk out with the victor. Well, apparently, in this case, it was in fact Yuya Uemura when he applied the deadbolt suplex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But Yuya Uemura walked away with total points of 4 points with just 2 wins. So basically, he is currently okay for the time being. As for Newman, he is still stuck with the total points of 2. Our next match, we have Taichi versus Evil, which, of course, we all know the kind of person Evil is. He's a total scumbag. Not to mention, he has Dick Togo and Fale to get involved, and that's always the problem. And not to mention, Taichi's old friend, Kanemaru, former member of Suzuki Gun, and Just 5 Guys decided to help out. And then, of course, we did see Evil apply Worst Evil, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over, with Evil obtaining with the total points of 6, while Taichi obtained the total points of 4. Our next match, we have Ryohei Oiwa taking on Yota Tsuji. Now, nothing too special about this. Now, of course, some of these guys, as you know, they went to the same class together, along with Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura and Ren Narita, but they all went their separate ways. But in this case, Yota Tsuji, as you know, he is one of those wrestlers that many people can back up no matter what. And as Ryohei Oiwa, he has learned his ways. But in the end, it was a modified backslide by Yota Tsuji that allowed him to pick up the win, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match, we have David Finlay taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, of course, we know Finlay has been trying to reach at the top, but I feel, in my opinion, David Finlay has not been in the right condition ever since his loss towards Evil, thanks to the betrayal of Fale and Chase Owens. So that sets it up right there. I feel like David Finlay is the one who has lost focus. I know he wants to reach the top, but in the end, it's not going to be that simple. But with Tanahashi, we know recently his body has been tearing, not to mention he has bad knees. But of course, we know David Finlay would do whatever it takes to block every move that Tanahashi can apply. I mean, the Texas Cloverleaf, including the high five flow. But it was a simple, basic move by Tanahashi with the inside cradle, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, Tanahashi did his usual post-match promo. Then, of course, the air guitar, which was always fun to enjoy. So that's pretty much what happened in day 5. So let's move on with day 6. Okay, day 6 of the G1 Climax by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, those who may or may not have seen this, the entire show opened up with paying tribute to Hulk Hogan. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. J-Rod, do not talk about him. He's a scumbag, a racist piece of garbage. I get it, guys. But please understand, this is how it started. Okay? I didn't expected it, but I have to remember Hulk Hogan made a big impact in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. People remember what he's done in the wrestling business. So put aside to that part of his recent years and focus on what he's done in the past. And that's exactly what they even mentioned about matches with Antonioki. Every match that he has faced. And that is something that is part of their history. Something that New Japan cannot ignore. But of course, they gave him the 10-bell salute, which was honorable in the Japanese culture. So that's how it rolls up. Now, our first match, as you know, we are in the B block of the G1 Climax. It opened up with Yoshihashi versus Great-O-Khan. Now, Yoshihashi, as you know, survived his first 3 matches, so far being undefeated. But however, he faces against the Great-O-Khan, who is now currently, of course, with one match. But the real question we ask ourselves, can he pull off this one? Well, I mean, we have seen Yoshihashi grown up so much. I mean, tag team champion, never openweight tag team champion, 6-man tag team champion, that sort of thing. But now he is stepping into the threshold to kick it up a notch and to do something memorable of his friend and tag partner Hiroki Goto. But however, Great-O-Khan was able to succeed him when he applied the Eliminator on him, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So Great-O-Khan has so far now gained up 2 new points with a total of 4, leaving Yoshihashi still at the total of points 6. However, this is of course Yoshihashi's first loss. Now moving on, we have El Phantasmo versus Zack Sabre Jr. This was going to be a good match, not going to lie. El Phantasmo, we have seen him, how much he has developed, how much people are behind him. Zack Sabre Jr., as you know, he is the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And of course, this is one of those moments where, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. is determined to prove why he is the champion, why he is one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. But of course, El Phantasmo became a adrenaline junkie, decided to take Zack Sabre Jr. out in the outside of the ring, which of course might have been foolish, but it was effective. But in the end, he could not survive, of course, the technical aspect by Zack Sabre Jr. when he applied, of course, a submission. And just like that, he just tapped out. So ELP just lost that way. So that's pretty much it. Now, this is a match, of course, many of you may remember. Ren Narita versus Shota Umino. It's no secret that these two guys were trying to prove who's going to be the top star in their class. And of course, it's no secret that Shota Umino has always been the best out of Ren Narita. Has never beaten Shota Umino. But of course, we know Ren Narita's affiliation with the House of Losers. And of course, Kanemaru did show up and tried to get involved. Narita tried to use the push-up bar, but it failed. And then he tried to do it again. And then, of course, the low blow. And then, of course, he tried the Hell's Guillotine. And just like that, Ren Narita walked away with the win, and just like that, he's happy that he got what he wanted. I have to say, Ren Narita may have gotten the win, but he's a total scumbag, in case anybody asks. But however, Narita currently has the total points of 6, while Shota Umino has the total points of 4. In our main event, we have wrestlers who have faced off each other before, and this was a bit of a rematch for the Never Openweight Championship. Konosuke Takeshita versus Shingo. Now, many of you may remember it was Konosuke Takeshita who defeated Shingo for the Never Openweight title until he lost it to, of course, Boltin Oleg. And this was a powerhouse type match. I mean, this is one of those moments where Shingo, he tried everything humanly possible to wipe out Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita did the same thing, but it took many attempts to apply the Raging Fire onto Shingo Takagi until Konosuke Takeshita applied it himself, and for one opportunity, and when he applied it, 1, 2, 3, it was done. He picked up the win, and he currently has the total points of 6. I think he has 1 loss in this particular tournament, and as for Shingo, he is still at the bottom with just 2 points. So I don't know if he'll bounce back from that. Only time will tell. So we'll see what happens until then. So we'll end things here with day 6, move on to our last and final review, continuing with more of New Japan's G1 Climax. So let's move on to day 7. Okay, final review. We continue now with day 7 of New Japan's G1 Climax 37. Now, we're going to focus, of course, with the A blocks, in case anybody asks. Now, our first match, we have Yota Tsuji versus Boltin Oleg. I have to say, this is going to be a bit of a powerhouse type of match. We have seen what these guys are all about. Boltin Oleg, the current Never Openweight champion. Yota Tsuji, former IWGP Global Champion. So, you probably can guess that's how things are going to roll up. But in the end, who walks out of these two? I mean, these two guys are incredible athletes. We know that Boltin Oleg tried to apply the kamikaze with, of course, a normal setting, but also an avalanche setting. But that failed miserably until, of course, Yota Tsuji found an opening and applied the Gene Blaster. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, he picked up his next 2 points, totaling with, of course, 8, leaving, of course, Boltin Oleg with 6. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to try to spoil this for all of you. Yota Tsuji is currently in the lead in the block, in case anybody asks. Now, our next match, we have Cal Newman versus David Finlay. It's no secret about these two guys. As for those who know this, Cal Newman as a member of the United Empire, David Finlay a member, of course, the leader, and of course, of the Bullet Club War Dogs. It's no secret that these guys have fought each other tooth and nail to destroy each other. And that's always been the case. But the real question is, can David Finlay try to destroy Cal Newman? I mean, Newman, we can see he's talented, but we thought he would not survive the brutality and savage of David Finlay. But I said this before, I feel David Finlay has lost that killer instinct and, of course, the savagery that he's been known, until Newman surprised him with the Hurricanrana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over, giving him his next 2 points with a total of 4, leaving David Finlay with a total points of 2. Now, our next match, well, this was a long time coming. Sanada versus Taichi. Of course, it's no secret about these guys. Remember, guys, it was Taichi who convinced Sanada to join him to what started out as just 4 guys into just 5 guys, until Sanada betrayed Taichi and turned again and sided with the Bullet Club War Dogs, and of course we all know where he's at, with the House of Losers. But there were a lot of things that happened, but the one thing that's great, as you all know, Sanada likes to embarrass Milano Collection by hurting him. Well, Milano Collection had enough of Sanada's BS and helped Taichi, and of course, bittersweet revenge has happened. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Of course, we did see, of course, Kanemaru shoved to Sanada, and just like that, it was over. We did see low blows coming in every angle, and we see Kanemaru helping out And then, of course, a young lion tried to help Taichi, but it was not enough until Sanada, of course, used the guitar onto Taichi. And then after that, a pinfall, 1, 2, 3. Sanada picked up his 4 points. So currently, both Sanada and Taichi stayed in a total of 4 points each. Now, our next match, we have Evil versus Yuya Uemura. Now, of course, Evil, as you know, he is determined to try to win this tournament. However, we know that Evil has Big Don Fale, the scumbag, and of course, Dick Togo, the idiot, tried to help him in every way possible. I mean, Yuya Uemura, I have to say, he had guts to handle things on his own, to deal with Fale and, of course, Dick. But in the end, somehow, someway, Yuya Uemura survived his ordeal when he applied the deadbolt suplex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. He gained 2 more points with a total of 6, leaving Evil at 6, tying it up. So that's going to be interesting as well. Now, our main event, we have Rohi Oiwa versus Tanahashi. So, of course, we all know this situation with these. We know that Rohi Oiwa, as you know, has been determined to rise at the occasion, but the real question is, can he defeat the ace and the current president of New Japan Pro Wrestling? Well, he pulled off an amazing match when he applied, of course, the grit on him, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So basically, Rohi Oiwa ended up with total points of 6, leaving Tanahashi with total points of 4. So we don't know how things will progress. So we'll see from here on out. The next, of course, New Japan show will take place on the 30th of July. So I think that's going to be on a Wednesday, and we'll get to that. But as of right now, we are officially done with all the reviews involving New Japan. Let's move on to our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin, of course, as always, with upcoming events. GCW, as you know, will have their upcoming events in August 2nd at Rutherford, New Jersey for Bloodsport 14. They just announced Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight, will take on the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham. This is going to be an interesting match. I hope we get to see. Next up, we have DDT Pro Wrestling with their upcoming WrestleMania event called Wrestle Peter Pan 2025 that will take place, of course, on the 31st of August in Korakuen Hall. They just announced Hiroshi Tanahashi will face off against Danshuko Dino. So if I was Tanahashi, do not let him kiss you. That's the last thing you need from him. MLW has announced for their Fightland event on the 12th of September. No, 13th of September, my bad. They announced Defunto will be participating in the event. And then finally, of course, GCW's sister promotion, JCW, or Jersey Championship Wrestling, announced for the Knockout event on the 21st of September. A match has been announced. Carl Fredericks, as you all know, he was known as Eddie Thorpe in NXT, will be making his official debut at JCW, taking on the Southern Psycho, Mance Warner. Now that's pretty much it for upcoming events. We only have one development here. Australian promotion, no, not Australian. I don't know what promotion is this, called Discovery Wrestling, has announced that Joe Hendry and a guy named Dave Conrad are now the Discovery Wrestling Tag Team Champions. So they just recently won these belts. So congratulations, Joe Hendry and Dave. Let's see how things will go on as a tag team. So that's pretty much it right now for what we got for our news updates and everything else. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we have NXT. A lot of things has happened. I have missed out on a few things. I know that recently Jordan Grace wants to get her hands on Blake Monroe. We know that, of course, Dark State continues on and all this and that. So I can't wait to see what happens. I have tried to keep up what's been happening in NXT since I was away for that week. But nonetheless, we're going to try to see how things will go. I haven't decided yet what other events I want to review, but I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, we'll leave things as it is, as NXT is our primary and top priority of reviewing. We'll leave things as that. But as of right now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I'm as bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.